Patrizia is a young woman in her early 20s. She still lives in her parents' home. She didn't go to college. She has no interest in continuing her education. Patrizia is not very ambitious about her career. She works at her father's firm. She loves going to parties and meeting new people. Always looking her best is her priority. She thrives on men's attention and she's always on the lookout for a prospective husband. At her job, her cunningness is encouraged and rewarded.
Hey, Fernando, your lunches are getting expensive.
Well, I have expensive taste, no?
Even though they are not well off, her father doesn't want to rob himself of the pleasure of eating at expensive restaurants. Apparently, Patrizia inherited her desire for a luxurious lifestyle from her dad. They are on the same team. We don't see much of her mother in the film, but it's not hard to imagine how she probably tries to keep to a budget while her husband is throwing money on lunches. But they make light of this situation.
Don't tell Ma. She'll kill you.
You don't tell your mother.
In their family, it's okay. Hiding the truth and lying is part of Patrizia's life, part of her identity.
Tonight, I think I'm free.
She never says no to a party.
Who invited you?
Translation: are you somebody or are you a nobody? Are you worth my time?
Bianca,
I don't know her.
it's her party.
Right. That Bianca.
She says it as if she knows Bianca, while in fact she doesn't. It's no big deal to tell a lie when it's important for her reputation. She's so used to tell these small lies that they come out of her mouth very naturally. If Bianca is the one who threw the party, then she must be important. And Patrizia wants to look like she knows all the important people. Underline wants to look like. How people see her is important for her. She's focused on her image. How she got this image is not something that worries her too much. Then she introduces herself. She's not shy to take the initiative. And she's at a loss for words because she just heard that his surname is Gucci. And now he has her full attention. She's a beautiful young woman and he's obviously attracted to her. Plus, she's not shy to take the initiative, which is great for Maurizio, who, despite his social status, is still an insecure, indecisive, and awkward young man.
Wanna dance?
No.
And then we see him dancing. He can be persuaded into doing anything. She's coming on very strong, but it's not like she meets a Gucci every night, right? Maurizio wants to leave.
It's only midnight, Cinderella.
She almost calls him a girl. Sort of a joke, sort of not. She's trying to make him stay by offending him.
I'll turn into a frog at midnight.
I'll turn into a frog, he says, hinting that he is a prince, not Cinderella. But as he leaves, she calls out to him,
It's a pumpkin, not a frog.
Translation: no, you're not a prince, not a man. I'll never let you have any control. When he says goodbye and turns to leave, she can't hide her disappointment. She's trying to continue dancing and having fun, but she can't anymore. She just can't let this Gucci guy slip away from her hands. She won't let it happen. She finds out where he studies and starts stalking him a little bit and orchestrates their quote-unquote accidental meeting in the library of his university. When he sees her there holding a book, his first instinct is to go away. He probably doesn't even recognize her in the light of day, but then she continues smiling at him and looking at him so intensely that it makes him puzzled. Again, he wants to leave, but then she says hello, and after that it would have been rude for him to ignore her, so he responds. He's still struggling to recognize her, and she has to take off her headscarf for him to finally place her.
Do you study here?
I'm considering it.
She's not considering it. She's lying, and it comes so naturally out of her mouth because she does it so often. Every time their conversation comes to a halt, she comes up with something else to continue it so he wouldn't leave. He wants to drive away, but she's standing right in front of him, preventing him from moving. She doesn't want to read his signs. Right from the start of their relationship, she ignores him as a person completely. She has her own agenda, which is more important than Maurizio's desires. It looks like he's too soft and polite to reject her, and that's why he agrees to go on a date with her.
So do you think you're gonna pass the bar soon?
She says as they pass an expensive restaurant. He suggests they go in, but she protests. No, it's too expensive, pretending to be shy. But then when he doesn't try to convince her, she pulls him there herself. She can't even be honest about where she wants to eat. She uses her cunningness even in these everyday situations. If a person is used to lying, they can't stop, can't control the urge to lie, even when it's unnecessary. Patricia's need to control everything is depriving her of feeling joy in her life. She could have just asked him to go into that restaurant. But she has to control everything, so she creates circumstances where he has to offer her to go into that restaurant out of politeness. So much work is going on inside of Patricia's head. She can never let it go and just enjoy her life. Throughout the whole film, we'll be seeing her in luxurious places, and never once she looks relaxed and truly happy. She's so terrified all the time of not getting what she wants, and when she gets it, she constantly worries she's going to lose everything. And this is exactly what happens to her. She wants to make a good impression on Maurizio's dad. That's why she says this lie.
Sometimes on the TV they play a movie Tourist Train.
Tourist train sounds familiar.
Although it wouldn't even be strange to admit that she hasn't watched this film since she's so young. She lies so much that it becomes her go-to tool in any conversation, even when it's not necessary.
I'm a very social person. A people pleaser.
She describes herself as a people pleaser. She says it so timidly. Another lie. She says it because it sounds good. It describes her as shy and insecure. But using manipulations and lies to make a good impression on people so that they would let her get what she wants is not people pleasing, it's pleasing her.
Ground transportation.
There's an awkward pause after she says where she works. Unlike Patricia, Maurizio's dad isn't shy to show how he really feels about his son's girlfriend's background. He's honest and tells everything up front. Sometimes he doesn't even have to use words to express his opinion. His silence speaks for him. He even tells his son he had someone watch them from afar and that he's convinced Patricia is a gold digger.
I think she's after your money. Her father has a very successful business.
Maurizio is just repeating the lies Patricia told him about her father's business. Why did she lie to her boyfriend? So that she would look better in his eyes, so that she would have a higher chance of marrying him.
Patricia is not like that.
Maurizio stutters when he's nervous, and this conversation is making him very nervous. Maurizio is already in love with Patricia, and he doesn't want to believe his father's words. Maybe deep inside he knows that his father is right, but he wants to believe that what he has with Patricia is genuine. He doesn't want to be always on guard like his dad. It's his way of rebellion. His family's name and wealth is weighing him down, and he's even happy to get rid of it and start fresh. He's not afraid of his father's threat to write him off his will. He never intended to join the family business anyway. He was excited about becoming a lawyer. For love, he's willing to sacrifice his wealth and comfortable life. His girlfriend, on the other hand, started dating him in the first place for his wealth. However, what Maurizio is really doing is changing one authoritative figure in his life, his dad, for another authoritative figure, his future wife. As viewers, we are hopeful that everything will be just fine for Maurizio, that he will start fresh and have a great life. But he's just not ready yet to become independent, both financially and emotionally. That's why when he, quote-unquote, breaks free from his father's suffocating love, he becomes dependent on his wife right away. Having failed to get his father's blessing, Maurizio starts living with Patrizia's family and starts working for her dad. They have fun and seem to get on well with everyone in the family, and looking at these scenes, it's nice to think that maybe things could have been just fine. Aldo, Maurizio's uncle, calls, and Patrizia gets all excited. She's been waiting for an excuse to be accepted into her husband's family. She pressures Maurizio into going to the birthday party even though he doesn't want to. He can't say no to his wife. He's too soft. He can't hold the weight of responsibility and prefers to rely on someone else to make the final decision for him. Again, Maurizio stutters when he needs to make a decision. Of course, we can understand Maurizio. On the one hand, he wants to distance himself from his family because they don't approve of his life choices, which means they don't respect and don't accept him. But on the other hand, he wants to be on good terms with his relatives because, quote-unquote, they're family. Look into her hungry eyes. How excited she is to get her hands on the money. She can't stop thinking about all the wealth she's missing out and tries to find ways to get accepted into Maurizio's family. Patrizia didn't succeed in winning her husband's dad over because he could see right through her, so she tries his uncle. With him, her charms work, at least for a while.
Hello, Uncle. I was just in the neighborhood.
She was in the neighborhood, but not really. Patrizia doesn't just do things without a certain hidden agenda.
Because Patricia has told me that you may be interested in learning about her business.
Maurizio never wanted this, but under his wife's pressure, how can he say no after that? She does this every time. When he's reluctant to do what she wants, she pressures him into it. Aldo wants to keep the company in the family, so he would like for his nephew to join the company. But he doesn't just want to put pressure on him. He wants it to be Maurizio's decision, not his.
Thank you. We're flattered and we're grateful.
I'm glad. I know you are.
She's nodding to her husband, telling him what to do, bossing him around. Maurizio has a real problem with saying no to people.
Let me discuss it with Patrizia.
What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm thinking. I'll certainly think about it.
He's so afraid of saying this word, no, that he postpones saying no and postpones it, and then he can't face the pressure and gives in, and eventually he says yes. Patrizia is like, what a fool you are. And then she's given her husband a disappointed look, almost hateful look. Patrizia continues to pressure him into joining the family business.
Family is important, Maurizio.
This is the happiest I've been in my life. Why change that?
What kind of argument is that, Maurizio? Who cares about how you feel? Certainly not your wife.
You're so much more than this.
But really, she means she deserves so much better. She's even bringing her hands to her chest, meaning herself, despite her words. This goes to prove that body language never lies.
Strong family makes a strong business.
He's not convinced. Nothing has worked so far. Time for her last weapon.
I'm pregnant.